So here we are at HarborFest, and we got people from the North Hempstead Needs a Cat Shelter campaign. So guys, how's it going today?
It's going pretty good. We're drawing a nice crowd. And we're explaining to people the fact that we're the only town on Long Island with no cat shelter.
Now, I want to point out there was some people that actually came and said, hey, we recognize you from last year. There's still no cat shelter?
It's been going on for a very long time, unfortunately. And I think the main problem, we have support from some of the council members. I think the main problem is the supervisor, Jen DeSena. She's totally unempathetic, unwilling to do anything to help, doesn't return any constituent phone calls. We really need to vote her out in November. That's the only way we're going to get a cat shelter.
DeSena uses the excuse that it's not mandated that we have a cat shelter, and she uses that, and it's a really lame excuse, because the truth of the matter is that it's inhumane not to have a cat shelter. People die, they become disabled, go into nursing homes, and the cats are thrown out on the street, or even worse, they're sent to shelters where they're euthanized. And it's just got to stop. We're not living in the dark ages anymore. We have to find solutions, and we need to get a cat shelter, and we need to get a more appropriate TNR program so we reduce the spreading of the cats.
And let me just say, there were some people who came to our booth who said that they see that there are large cat populations out there, stray cats.
They definitely are, and also it needs to be pointed out, this is a very wealthy town, sitting with more than $30 million in their capital reserve, which is way more than required by law. There's more than enough money there to build a cat shelter, whether it's a separate cat shelter or a joint dog cat shelter. And incidentally, our dog shelter is built on a landfill.
So I also want to point out, you guys don't have the banner this year. We weren't allowed to bring the banner pointing out.
What happened was that the head of the Chamber of Commerce basically told us that we weren't welcome, and after some intervention we were told we could come, but we couldn't have a banner even simply stating that there's no cat shelter. We're the only town on Long Island with no cat shelter, which is simply a fact. So we ultimately decided that we wanted to be able to reach more people, so we would put up with basically having our First Amendment rights violated.
So are you guys reaching a lot of people at this event? I see it's pretty crowded.
It is pretty crowded, and we're doing pretty well.
Good.
We're getting donations, which we didn't even ask for.
Yeah.
And we're getting a lot of people stopping and talking to us. We're giving out literature, we're giving out buttons.
And there's a lot of people that are now aware that there's a separate dog-cat issue, and that, it's just not acceptable, and that come November, they're going to vote Jen DeSena out, because they understand that she's stopping the ability for us to protect these animals that have no voice. We have to be the voice of these animals.
It almost seems like they're listening to you more here than at the town hall meetings.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some truth in that. I mean, the problem is people are afraid at the town board meetings to go on the record as supporting anything, but we've had private meetings, and there are at least 3 people on the town board that support us, pretty fervently. Again, the problem is the town board's not good. It's a 4-3 majority for the Republicans, and without the Senate's support, we can't get this done.
Awesome.
So at this point, it's obvious that since she's up for re-election in November, the only way to get this done is to vote her out of office, which we're endeavoring to do.
Awesome. Well, you know what? I see a crowd of people coming, so I don't want to hold you guys up from talking to the public. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Our pleasure.